I'd like to call to order the June 23rd, 2026 meeting of the Parks and Public Works Committee. Sarah, can you call the roll?
Sure. Cherrick,
Here.
Hoffman, is not, Kimball,
Here.
Roach, not, Stanton, online, and, TL.
Here.
And I hear footsteps.
That must be Mr. Hoffman.
All right, so 4 out of 5 are here plus Lauren. So let's go ahead and get started. The next thing would be the approval of the agenda. Do I have any motion to amend the agenda?
I'd like to add just an information on park benches.
So just a discussion on the park benches.
Or just an information, yeah. Small
Okay.
discussion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion on that item? All right, is that a roll call vote, Sarah?
No, it's voice way.
Oh, okay, so all in favor of adding park benches?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed? No. All right, motion carries unanimously. All right, that's added to the agenda. The next thing would be the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting on June 2nd. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? No,
Nothing.
Sarah, did you do those?
Yes.
Excellent, as
Yeah.
usual. All right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Minutes are approved. All right, the next thing would be public comment on agenda items only. So will all the non-people in the room, please?
Nobody online.
Nobody online, nobody in the room. Okay.
It's online.
Well, I know, but Lauren's not the public. Lauren's part of us. So, okay, I think we'll just move on to discussion. So the next thing would be the DPW administrative update. And Mark, you're doing that?
All right, welcome everybody today. Yeah, we got a little better of updates this time around because I kind of know what's going on in this. So, additional painting was completed on the chain ferry. There were some slats, wood slats on the far side that people were tripping over, so we got those painted.
Mhm.
And then like the seawall area around it, we're slowly working on getting that done. Repainting that area, kind of dealing with a little bit of rain last week, so kind of
Yes.
playing it by weather and dew in the morning, but also trying to get it done early where it dries before a lot of patrons get out. So Maple Street construction still ongoing. There was an update that came out yesterday on that. They got some service tie-ins and done. Some people are probably underneath a slight boil water notice on that right now, but should be lifted by Thursday, hopefully, if all the sampling comes back good. Oval Beach.
Which street is that?
Maple Street.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And
Oval Beach has been busy, as normal. I think she had said on Saturday 13th, they had to turn people away for the first time this year, so. It was unfortunate, but then she was able to, Angela was able to tell them, hey, you can go park here, you can take the interurban and give them the other options of how to get to the beach. So, that's, and she said spreading that to all the other employees out there to be able to pass that information on. So people are aware how to get to the beach if they can't park at the beach.
So there really were just no spaces, huh?
Yeah, it was full.
Wow.
Good.
Yep, she said as people were leaving, we would let cars in, but she said it was busy.
Yeah.
It was first she'd seen it too, so it was new to her. The plantings at Peterson Preserve look great.
Oh, thanks.
We did move the trash can.
I know, and I just, I have to
I
thank.
personally went out there and said, there's a trash can between two benches. I wouldn't want to sit on that bench. And then I talked with AJ about it. And I said, hey, does people use that trash can? Because AJ's the guy that mows everything. And he's like, believe it or not, yes, they do. A lot of it was like dog waste.
I
and
figured
stuff.
it's dog waste.
And he said, a lot of people come out there and paint. And he said, if there's not a trash can for them to put their painting supplies in, he goes, they just set it by the bench and I have to pick it up. So didn't think of those considerations. So I'm like, is there a place we can move it? He moved it by the telephone pole, I think closer to the road. He said that's the perfect spot for it there.
And
So,
I would agree because it's also right there by the dog baggies.
Yep,
So it's like, take the baggie, put it in the trash.
yep.
Thank you for that.
Last week we did our brush and leaf pickup. They picked up about 13 dump truck loads around the city. So a little lighter, I think, from what they're usually used to, but they were able to get it all completed. And they were happy with that. So, seasonal staff at DPW is currently full. We have no openings. She's still working on a few more for the beach, but she did text me this morning. She's got another interview Friday, and then she said that should complete her, hopefully. for what she's been looking for. Beach patrollers has been the hang up because you gotta be 18 years of age for that. So, that's kind of been the hang up there. And then Danny and Andrew walked the trails at the Saugatuck Wilds Nature Preserve, moved a bunch of trees and down branches and whatnot off of there. So those did get walked recently.
No, that's good.
That's all I got.
The report? Okay, thank you. Okay, next thing on the agenda, any questions for Mark? Nope. Okay, so then the next thing would be the Saugatuck Harbor Natural Area Trail Assessment Report. And if you recall, we had selected ODC to do the basically the invasives removal at the Saugatuck Harbor Natural Area, as well as to put together recommendations for trails that right now there are just a variety of trails that a little bit are legitimate, but mostly people have just, carved on their own. And that is not doing this area any good. It's a highly sensitive area. So actually, I pulled up in advance of this meeting, the Saugatuck Harbor Natural Area Master Plan, which was adopted by the city it was originally adopted in 2010, but it was updated in February of 25. And basically, in this particular document, it covers a lot of things, but I just thought I'd point out that it has a section on trails and user experience. And, and it mentions that, a network of trail winds through the Saugatuck Harbor Natural Area property. Some of these are official that are marked with signposts and are shown on the trail map on the City of Saugatuck website. And then it says some of these are well marked and well used, while other trails are faint, difficult to follow, and receive little to no use. User-created social trails also occur throughout the property. These are concentrated in the southern part of the site near the parking lot in Hubble Beach. Excessive use of this area has caused some damage to natural features, including vegetation trampling and accelerated erosion. Barbed wire that was previously buried has also been located. So also management recommendations were to use signs in our natural barriers, to decommission the social trails, to consider adopting well-used social trails where they're appropriate, decommission trails that are unused and unmaintained, and ensure that all trails are clearly marked, and then to update the City of Saugatuck website with the new trails. And so with that, we basically, we looked at several vendors for doing this work for us and selected ODC, and they've come back to us with a report. So that's what we have today, and that was in your packet. So hopefully you had a chance to review it. So I don't know, do you want to just go ahead and pull up what shows for the map of the current trails as they documented them?
Is this?
Right.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yes, so that looks like a little rat's maze there.
Yeah, it's a little man-made trail.
Let's go over here. Oh, let's check that out. And so they've identified issues, obviously, with many of those trails. And so then they basically have come back to us with a nice, clear, concise recommendation. So I guess, Sarah, do you want to pull that up? Wow, what a difference, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, much better.
So does anybody have any thoughts or comments basically about the recommendations?
No, but I have a question.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we, will this all be done by markers? This is the trail. How do we keep people from off the trails that they've made themselves?
Well,
Is there any concept of?
There's also, I think the next thing we'll talk about is all this, they have signage recommendations as well.
Okay, good.
So I guess if we think that these trails are appropriate, and I have to confess, I did not have a chance to go out there and try to evaluate it myself.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody has.
I did not.
What I'm hoping is so basically to jump ahead, we've gone ahead and we've asked Tanner Bricker, who's basically, in charge of this study at ODC, to put together a proposal for us of what it would cost to try to decommission the trails that, we prefer people not walk on, and then also to put the signage, a signage recommendation. And so we will basically be considering that at our next meeting, but I thought it probably would be good if in advance we all tried to make a trek out there and just check it out for ourselves. And, I'm hoping to do that as well. So, so anyway, what I'm seeing on, on the document looks ideal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks great. And I mean, they are recommending like native plantings to
Yeah.
avert people away from the unintended trails
Mhm.
and signage. So,
So,
I think
Um,
one of the things we should do at our next meeting though is, or this meeting is talk about dogs. Way too many people bring their dogs out there and dogs are not allowed there, but people still bring. 'Em. So there should be some type of, I know it's hard to enforce, but we should have some type of system saying, don't bring your dogs out. And if they do bring them out, they should be fines. Because
don't we have,
if we're
you're not even
consider-
allowed to bring dogs to the beach, right? Can you bring a dog to the beach in the off season? Nope.
in where?
Off season, I said.
Off
Yeah, you
season,
can.
yeah.
Off
Yeah.
season, you
Yeah,
can.
off season.
But I don't think you're allowed to bring them. Are you allowed to bring them off season? I don't
Yeah,
think-
at Douglas Beach at least saying that,
You are.
You are.
It all will be
You are.
closed, yeah, after September, or after Labor Day.
yeah.
Well, we never
it's
gave them
the
away.
beach.
Then I think we should enter the discussion about maybe not allowing them on in the harbor area. 'Cause
And-
one,
Period, they shouldn't be
Yeah.
allowed there.
you've got migration, and if we're planting Native American species, I can guarantee you, no one with a dog follows assigned trails. Because they take them off leash, and they really do.
Yeah, well, I totally concur that in a sensitive natural area, you don't want dogs, and dogs aren't good for the wildlife that's there either.
Right.
So right now, do we have anything that specifically bans?
I mean, I
dogs?
think
Don't know
because the
about the
entrance to the
natural
beach
area.
says no dogs are allowed, at least during the
I would,
During the
season.
season.
I would assume it would extend from Oval,
We should
but I'm
ask.
not sure.
What's her name? The manager of Oval Beach.
Angela. I know the main sign going in says no dogs, because I have read that.
Right, it says no many things, I think, and I always want to add no fun. Sorry.
But, and I'm not anti-dog, but I'm anti-dog in like, they need to be in a leash, or they're not allowed in the.
I don't think they should be allowed at all personally, just because it is such a sensitive natural area. It's not like a typical park. And then I wouldn't say that about some of our other, I wouldn't say that about the wilds.
You're allowed to
know-
bring them on leash in the wild.
Right, and I would have no problem with that. It's just, it seems like because it is, we could ask ODC also for their thoughts on that. And so maybe that's an idea, because it does seem like a good point. Keith, I'm glad you brought it up. Other thoughts? All right, Sarah, do you want to just go ahead then and pull up the next slide, which is, they did not put together actual signage recommendations for us, but they gave us some samples,
Examples. Yeah.
signs that they've done for other parks and things. And so what we were asking them to do is come back with a recommendation for signage. So I'm not exactly sure, what those thoughts, what they'll be coming back with. If we have any specific things, such as,
Are
dogs.
we gonna have to adhere to, are we doing a new logo for the city?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's supposed to be ready on the 6th of June, I think.
So even if we do a sign, it could be a small logo in the
July?
corner. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, I would think we'd want something with the city's logo on it.
You're right.
Yeah, so we would need to wait until that's done to
That's
get
approved.
signage.
Alright,
Yeah, but they are supposed to approve that.
They're getting close to it. I
Right.
think it's in July or something. It's supposed to get approved.
Yeah, I think that,
I can't speak fully on that, but I think.
I think I read that in the minutes of some.
Yes.
it,
Yep.
So you guys, the branding and logo committee will have a second round of options for our logo on July 7th. So then after July 7th, we'll present it to council.
Okay, and then Lauren, then is it up to council to choose one?
That's correct.
Okay.
our
And it
committee
looks like,
had this
and it
done
looks like on
already.
this map that they have indications of where they want wayfinding signage, interpretive signs, trailhead signs. So it looks like on this map that's pulled up right here is where we should be putting signage.
Right.
All the red dots.
It
Yes.
looks great.
So, so I guess if you want to just pull up some of the sample signs, Sarah, just so you can see
Mm.
some that they've done before.
Where were the signs?
little farther.
Well, those are all,
Okay.
you know, just any of those are, they're,
Oh, these?
all of those are just samples. So we would want to have obviously a trail map and, you know, trail signs, go this way, not that way. And, so, and then, but I do think some of the educational signage, you know, would also be appropriate. So I guess my thought is just to let them make their suggestions and then we can respond and we can react to those. Do we think that they, you know, they've covered everything and how do we feel about those? So the good news, I think, with this whole project is, if you recall, there is a what do they call it exactly? You know, a trust, an endowment, you know, that goes, has been given to maintain this area. So when we come, whatever they come back with as far as a cost, hopefully, you know, we can cover that with the money that's available, you know, in the endowment, which is pretty significant. So hopefully council would support that. So it's not like we even have to go to them for funding. You know, there is money already that, you know, available and set aside.
Yeah.
All right, so, Michelle, do you want to follow up just on the dog question?
Yeah.
And just see if they would support that we should try to keep dogs out of that area?
Well,
And-
what are the, it might even be in the original docs about dogs.
It could be. I'm like, what I have here is just, I don't have, the, Land Conservancy's recommendations, but I've got what was adopted.
Yeah, between me and Michelle, we can look that up, figure it out, and we'll get back to you at the next meeting with it, if that's all right with you. We'll find if there's documentation or whatnot.
It's not like I'm anti-dog, but in relation to migrations, which happen in the spring and the fall after the season of allowing dog, into the season of allowing dogs, that's the time you don't want.
Yep.
Interesting, if you read this whole, plan, you know, they're suggesting developing platforms, structures such as platforms or boardwalks on the edge of the Oxbow Lagoon. Oh, exercising dogs. It just says dogs shall be regulated as they are in these. As the property is south of Oxbow Lagoon and adjacent to the Mount Baldhead and Oval Beach parks, dogs shall be regulated as they are in these parks. For the portion of the property that is north of the Oxbow Lagoon and along the Lake Michigan shoreline, leashed dogs are permitted on the beach between Labor Day and Memorial Day. Dogs are not permitted in the interior of the property north of the Oxbow Lagoon, nor are they permitted along the shoreline of the Oxbow Lagoon because they would be damaging to rare wildlife populations and habitats and would pose a cleanup problem that would be difficult to enforce.
There you have
So
it.
I think it's already.
It already says no dogs. So
Okay,
it's
so-
partner,
Huh?
you, Martha.
Good thing I printed that.
Only go in the winter. And
That was-
he could-
That was about
Yeah,
9:20
yeah.
this morning.
Well, that will change. You know, we had you have to remember that for a long time you paid $5 to go to Oval Beach. That's the private part.
Was that the time when they had?
And you had your dogs. This is during the season.
Propeller airplanes were popular too.
This is 5, 6 years ago. What is it? Not a little more than that, about 10 years ago. But so you have, I'm not saying that I'm for keeping dogs off of that point, but you also have to remember, there are a lot of people who have historically were able to take their dogs to the Oval Beach first, and then that stopped, and then they could take it in off-season. And you can
That's
also
all-
take it from the state park and walk into Oval Beach with your dog. So you have competing
There's
Rules.
dogs all over the place
I know,
because the
but now
people
we
that
can.
live there.
regulate it now.
are-
But you can actually come in from the state park, which allows
We can't do that,
dogs
but
to
we can
do
do
that.
it from our property.
You can do it from ours. So I'm
What's
just saying, you
the
have
argument?
to,
What's the argument?
I'm saying that there might have to be some kind of compromises
We
in
already-
terms of there's gonna be
What's that?
dogs coming in, Dogs need to be on the leash.
Dogs in the natural area,
Well,
Brian.
this is
Well,
not
It
the.
says so
this is
right
the
there.
parent part.
No, but
In the bylaws.
it doesn't prohibit dogs on the beach, even in that area. It just prohibits them in the interior.
All right, so
Yeah.
how are we gonna get that out? Because,
We'll put a sign up, no dogs, and then we'll have.
and
a
how are you
fine
gonna
system.
enforce that? I
The
mean, that's
police
extra
go
money
down
to
there.
enforce it. I mean, I'm just saying there's a realistic part of it.
Well, I
That we have to put the signs up, but we have to be cognizant.
Of what?
that there's
The
gonna be
fact
people
that
who bring their
propeller
dogs there.
planes in
It's gonna be the
1920,
trail
people-
police.
Huh?
Mhm.
I said, you're gonna be the trail
You're gonna
police.
be the trail
You have to be the enforcer.
Yeah.
I will be. No, but I think it can be enforced, like if there's, beach patrols or cops go down there, see someone without a leash, you give them a warning, second time you give them a fine, just like traffic ticket.
Okay.
Well, we could also just attempt to do a little monitoring to see if this is a significant problem and then decide if we needed to take steps. So maybe we could, volunteer to spend, a few hours, just observing to see if we see, especially at popular times, if we see people taking dogs in where they shouldn't. But we could have signage that explains what's allowed and what's not allowed. And then we can just monitor to see if people are actually adhering. That would be my thought. Any other thoughts on this? Because this is kind of our primary discussion item for today.
And I'm good. Oh, wait, I have benches after this, you're right.
Right. But, okay, so basically our next step would be we'll get the proposal from ODC for actually implementing these recommendations. And you'll have that in your packet and plenty of time to review. And I also, like I said, I would suggest everybody try to get out there and if you can, figure out what the recommended trail is based on the map that you've got, since there'll be no signs. Okay, all right, let's move on. So we've added the benches and tables to the agenda. So Keith, do you want
All right, I'll
Jump
make
in.
it quick. I looked at both websites and I absolutely dug the Barco Products website. I looked at one particular bench, which is the Uptown Memorial Bench, and they come in 4, 5, 6, and 8 foot lengths. And it's pretty simple. You get 3 color choice, well, there are 4, but 3 color choices in the benches, and you can get different colored letters on them. You can get evergreen with tan, cedar with black, gray with black. And then you get, if they're memorial benches, you get 22 characters per line. And I talked to, with this woman, and she said, basically get 2 lines. If you're gonna do, don't get 4, don't get 3, get 2, so they're up above. And don't make a eulogy out. So they run for 4 foot, almost $800 to $1,300 for an 8 foot. And the 5 foot and the 6 foot are different prices too. They have surface mounts and they have in-ground mounts. And I think that we do a lot, what the majority of ours are in-ground cemented, or they.
Most of them are surface mount, like you put a concrete pad down and then you bolt it to that
Right.
concrete pad.
So basically the surface mount are, there's an extra like $50 kit that they sell. So I think actually, if at the council level or whatever level, we can make or our level, we can make a list of our recommendations of benches and where. And then we could somehow on the city website or city, put out a list, say, hey, who wants to get their name engraved?
if we were also doing the concrete pad,
Mhm.
when we would, basically we'd be saying, if you wanted to do one of these, you could pay for it so that you could
Right,
have.
you'll
your-
have to do all the whole front cost and everything.
Right,
Yeah.
so,
So
yeah,
they
so
know
would-
exactly what
we'd
it's gonna
want them to
cost.
cover the cost of the pad as well,
Yep.
right? So that we could go to council and say there's actually no cost to the city.
Like for a 4 foot, $800 bench, $850 to supply us an extra, like maybe your time and material would be like $200-300. So memorial bench, 4 foot, $1,200 or $1,100.
But would we be recommending the length for different?
Yeah, we could recommend.
Yes.
Because I don't want to put like a
Yep,
tiny
or if we
bench.
want to
where when you-
standardize, this is the length we're gonna use. I've been able to walk around a little bit and look at some of the benches we have and
Mhm.
I think we just gotta get to a standardized, this is what we're gonna do as a city for a bench, and that'll be council approval, but,
Right.
on what they wanna do there, make it a lot easier, so.
Yeah, just standard.
Yeah, just to standardize, yep,
Right, and I would
Yeah.
think like the color would be.
yep, make it standardized, this is the color we're gonna use, this is what we're gonna have.
Yeah.
Similar to what we do with trash cans and stuff like that. So.
I didn't dive into game tables yet.
Oh, yeah.
From what I've looked at game tables, there's, cement is not recommended, but they had metal ones. And this company had metal ones, but I didn't really, spend that much time on it.
Okay. And as far as the policy from, that we have for memorials, should we refresh what that is? Just, and then also, as far as who gets to have one, I mean, if we had so many people that wanted to do this, I mean, should we be doing like an announcement that we're going to do this so that people have the opportunity? And if we have more people who want to do it than we have benches, then we would do a lottery or something like that. I mean, I just feel like because people put their name in the past, does that really give them, more, weight than somebody who's like, oh, I didn't know we could do that.
Do we have a list?
Do we?
There's supposed to be a list.
Yeah, I talked to Scott. He said there is a list. I couldn't find it where he said the list was, but he said the next time he was in the area, he would stop by and he would show me
Okay.
where the list was. So.
Like donated or memorial or.
Yeah,
just something
exactly. And
weird.
that's probably, I don't want to have to open up every file. So he offered to come back next time he comes by for what he's doing. He'll help me. So I'll
All
get
right.
with him on that.
Well, I guess we can think about that at our next meeting as well, is just how many benches are we recommending? Well, we need to get council to approve them too before we can,
Right.
we might recommend, how many were we thinking to recommend? Mm. Many?
Don't have a count.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a count on me, but I'm saying somewhere probably around 10 right now.
Okay, well, that's not that many then,
Yeah.
for, it's probably 10 people on the list already.
Yeah.
So,
We could, if we have some outdated benches too, we could,
yes, you paid for that in the past.
no, not, some of the benches don't have memorials on.
Okay, there you go.
Benches. Are we talking about benches?
Yeah.
And would we be thinking of memorials for tables?
8 or
10.
10.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what they want them to say.
Because you haven't,
Like
you're
it
you're
says
just talking
donate
about
by memorial.
15
Like,
benches.
there's a
15
stuff-
benches? And as far as you did recommend some picnic tables as well.
I can count that.
Yes. And you haven't done any research on those, have you?
No.
What we could do with the picnic tables though, we could actually embed. We could have a 2-for-1, embed a chess table on them or a checkers table on them, so it can be both.
But I thought that, oh, you mean for picnic tables that need to be replaced?
Yeah,
or-
for new ones and that, because I like this company, the Barco, and I'll talk to her about the, recycled product for a for a game table. But the game tables I saw, they all have seats attached to them. Not like a,
Not independent seats
Yeah.
that they're like a one piece kind of.
and the picnic tables we
The
use.
picnic tables, I can only come up with like 9 or 10.
The picnic tables we use, I think, are, wood, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all wood right now. They're made in-house. So-
Right, but I know Scott had
Yeah, we're
suggested that
gonna work on trying to,
we not use
yep,
wood
get
going
more to the
forward.
composite stuff.
Right. Well, then I don't think that you want all of your tables to be game tables, because obviously if I'm coming with my family for a picnic, I need a bigger table.
No, I mean,
He's-
he's got a 6-foot picnic bench and in the middle of the dumb thing, or a picnic table, they're not dumb. In the middle of them, you could just have a chessboard impregnated and is that the proper
Yep,
term?
I know in an old park, Washington Square Park, that they have game tables with a chessboard, just embedded in the concrete, just concrete tops,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in there, so it's all, you can't fuss with it and you can't,
All right, well, you want to just do some more research on that and come back with some suggestions?
I just don't want to use concrete.
No.
Okay.
Any other discussion on? Any other discussion on benches, tables?
Nancy?
Yes.
Yeah, no, just so you guys know, Kelly already researched the game tables when we were looking at those for Village Square Park. So she probably already has the specs for those that you can grab from her, Keith.
Who has those?
Kelly.
Kelly,
Oh, Kelly. Okay, all right, good, thanks.
she had them for Village Square Park.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were in our original recommendation
Yes, that's right.
before they changed, someone changed the shuffleboard court.
Okay, yeah, well, let's not go there, okay? Okay. Okay, all right. So, any other further discussion? Benches and tables? All right. So I think we're ready for public comment on anything. And I don't believe anyone has joined us. So I think that public comment is now closed and we're ready for correspondence, which we didn't have any of. And so committee member closing comments. So Judy, anything?
Nothing for me today. Great meeting. Thanks, everybody.
thank you. Meeting.
Best day ever. I think that, I'll just say what, the fireworks are on the 3rd, the parade is on the 4th. Got it.
Okay, and yeah, I would just thank everyone for their participation. Keith, thanks for getting some information on the tables, and also Michelle, you started the ball on that, so I'm looking forward to actually making some good progress. It sounds like, that's happening, so I'm excited about that. You already heard about the fact that we got the trash can moved at Peterson Preserve, and that was, and it's funny because it was kind of bugging me, but my cohort in doing the plantings behind the benches, Connie Dean, she was just kind of like, can't we get that trash can moved? And then we actually had the president of the garden club stop by as we were doing the plantings. And just unsolicited, she said, do you think they can move that trash can? So I bugged Michelle about that, and thank you for accommodating us. So we're really trying to make things more beautiful, in the parks, and I think we'll continue to work on that. So I just appreciate everybody's help in that. So and support. All right, great meeting. I think this would be a record short. Oh, Lauren, did you want add anything?
Nothing to add.
Okay. So, yeah. Michelle, Mark?
All right,
Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
motion.
Second? All right, all in favor? Yes.
So it is written. So
We're
it shall
adjourned.
be done.